Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Brad Kilgore from America's Best Shops with my good friend Laura Southerly. How are you, Laura?
Doing great, Brad. Doing great.
Good. Well, I have a confession to make. I took about an hour and a half off today from work and just got outside and had one of my AI agents doing the work automatically that I would have been doing myself. And
Tell me
man,
more.
yeah, it's like 73 degrees outside in the mountains. We kind of forgot to have winter in Colorado. I'm sure we'll get something still, but it was just so nice to have something in place where I had some things I needed to research, some things I needed to update, some things I needed to prepare for. And my AI agent, I've got a couple of them, they literally went to work and did what I needed them to do. And I was able to check out. I mean, that's kind of an exciting time that we're living in now where these things are not just useful, but productive now. Would you agree?
That is a great way to put it. Yes. And just to clarify to the audience that's listening, you have your team, you have your staff. This is something different. I think that is very exciting that you were able to get out and enjoy some great weather while your work was still being done.
That's exactly right. Well, yes, I have a very productive team of people that work for me and have for many years. And of course, there's hours and hours I'm sitting here looking at screens, looking at screens. I think you mentioned it earlier. It's like we wake up and we're looking at a screen, and it's almost, it feels like, and it's really true, that before we go to bed, we've been looking at screens all day. Now, if you look at my background, I have a screen over here. I'm on a screen. I have a screen behind me. I have other screens over there. I mean, look at this. How many screens
Yes.
do I need, right?
Uh huh.
How many?
That doesn't even include your phone.
I know. Because if you look at the phone now, it's a screen. It's a big giant screen. So it's insane how we're just immersed in and just overwhelmed with screen time. Gosh, I pray for my grandchildren because they're born and raised on a screen. So it's insane. Do you see that too?
I do, and with my kids, I don't have the grandkids yet, but I tell you what, it is amazing how much and I forget the term at the moment, but it was the fact that even when we watch TV now, we have a screen generally in our hands or an iPad or a laptop on our laps. So it's not only one screen, as you said, we're multitasking on different screens. So tell me more as to what was being done while you were actually able to be outside getting some of that fresh air. What kind of task were you having your agents do for you?
Well, exactly. And I'll jump into that. And I know you didn't have grandkids because you got to be like in your early 40s.
So wishful. No, wishful thinking.
Oh, well, that's what it looks like to me. So, yeah, I mean, literally the tasks at hand. In this case, I had to prepare for a webinar we're doing. I needed to get some content put together for some blog posts for myself and my clients, and also do some other research on some projects that we're working on internally. And literally, it was just able to go out and do that. I had to give it the instructions to begin with, but then it's doing the work. I mean, we live in a time now, you and I've touched on this many different ways, is the AI world is rapidly evolving, literally where us as expert level have a hard time keeping up. You know, it's literally daily, weekly. I mean, if something's a month old, it's like it's old news. So I really think about how are the practical ways that we can educate business owners, shop owners, whatever the case may be, just humans in general that are just so overwhelmed. They're not going to necessarily be the technical people that you and I are. They're not going to live and breathe these things. And so they're like, okay, well, yeah, I know it's everywhere. Everywhere I turn, it's at Burger King, it's on Amazon, it's or I go through the drive-through and I'm talking to a robot. So it's everywhere. For those that are not plugged into it all, they're saying, well, this looks cool, but I don't know how the heck to use it. It doesn't. I can't think of practical ways. So some tips would be, to start thinking of what chews up your day. Depending on what you're doing, a lot of it could be physical stuff, or your crew are turning wrenches or doing those types of things. But there's a lot of other things too when it comes to estimates, when it comes to researching repair manuals, when it comes to doing paperwork or answering the phones or responding to something, an inquiry on your website. All these things now can be simplified and adapted to where now AI could handle those things. What we're seeing now, and it's just it's skyrocketing right now, is whole agentic teams. When I say agentic, it's a team of agents, literally, where you have a leader or a CEO, and below them, think of just any hierarchy of a business. You have the top guy, you got the management team, and you got the workers below that. Right? Isn't that how you describe it, Laura?
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be that daunting to say, wait a minute here, aren't I the CEO or CEO or wherever you might be with your company and stuff? Even if you say, I would like to have one agent review my emails and prioritize which ones I need to reply to. Even if those baby steps, it will save. I don't think we realize how much time we spend either opening up emails, taking the time to reply. And again, that doesn't take us out of that loop. We still get to decide, but if it prioritizes which ones we need to reply to, and then maybe make suggestions on those replies, if we can have an agent prepare those for us, boy, does it make a difference in the day.
Oh, absolutely. I think most all business owners, I know you and I have been in business one way or another for decades. I mean, you started when you were 13.
I think I
So
did, but no.
I,
Brad, you're
I
always so kind.
I think I started my first business, I was about 22. So many years ago, we didn't have computers or anything like that. But if you think about how many tasks you do in a day, and how many tasks your team does in a day, and how so many of those things are repetitive, how many of those things could be simplified and automated to where, like you said, can review your emails, draft up replies. It doesn't send them unless you wanted it to, and then you could go back and, you're trying to play catch up. You're like, oh my God, normally you say, I've got 30, 40, 50 emails to look at. What if your AI assistant, your agent, had looked through them all? You've trained it. It knows what you do and how you do it. And it's learned the ins and outs. You've trained it. And now it could say, okay, yep, only out of those 50 emails, only 10 were worth looking at today. And here's the drafted replies. Do you want us to send them? Well, that saved me a bunch of time.
Yes, yes. Well, even in your industry and mine, the videos, the research, there's so many cool resources out there that it takes a lot of time to keep going back to, we'll say, the influencers in the field or the ones that have the latest and greatest that we want to stay on top of. I think of how, yes, when we start business, I would collect magazines. There were such great articles out there, and there was time to kind of review them, to dog ear them, kind of say, hey, this is some of the great information. But to have my agent go out to the YouTube channels, the websites that I find that have the most valuable information is a tremendous help because it brings an overview, a summary to me and saves me from going out. Because the other thing that happens, you and I both know that it's easy to squirrel, that once we go out to YouTube, we may not, okay, maybe it's just me,
No, it's
I
me.
might not end up exactly on the channel that I wanted. So at least the channels that I know that provide me with the information I'm looking for, if I could get them summarized that say, hey, Brad didn't put a video out today, but here's his one from 4 days ago. That's a tremendous help, especially if it gives me a highlight as to what Brad talked about. And I know that's the video that will move me forward on an agent. It just makes my day so much better.
That's exactly right. Because I think we live in a world where how we consume things, whether that's written content, video content, audio content, it's a lot of information. And so how do we get through that? I mean, I have some just AI tools that help summarize things. And I think I've shared this before. Even if I'm on my screen, I'm watching a show and I'm on my tablet in the evening. I've got my earbud in, so I'm listening to the TV, got my earbud into my tablet. And then it's like, okay, well, here's a YouTube video. Am I going to try to watch this while I'm watching that? Because that's the world we're in, right? But
Yes.
now for me, with premium YouTube, I can hit a little button that says summarize with AI. I haven't
Mhm.
watched the video yet, but now I know, hey, I'm going to save that one for later, or I at least have the summary now to know what they talked about. I'm still watching Yellowstone on TV, and I didn't even have to watch the YouTube video that I was like attracted to. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to watch this. See? So I was able to save time. But having agentic systems in place, there's so many different areas where we live in such an information age. It's all around us. So I know for most entrepreneurs, we're trying to learn things, we're trying to keep up, we're expanding our horizons, so to speak. And so there's both sides of it. If you think about it, I use the AI agents and tools to learn, but I also do it to be productive while I'm creating things, while I'm getting tasks done at work. I mean, you could put it into your workout routine or your recipes for dinner. I mean, there's a million different things you could do with it, but why not start integrating an agent? Start with one, agent. Go into Google Gemini and create an agent there. We created some this week. There's lots of different ways you can do it. What recommendations would you have kind of on those notes?
Well, I think that you laid out some great ways to just get involved. So, in other words, we'll go back to recipes. I think that would be a great place if somebody's really not comfortable with bringing an agent into a business, consider bringing it into your personal and ask, could you go find me recipes for this week? Put in how many people are in your family, what you tend to like, if you have a diet that you want to favor, put those in, and then you'll be able to see what it brings back and how it can go ahead and curate a meal plan that would work very, very well. And so I think that's one thing. If we just take baby steps into incorporating, and again, pick systems. You mentioned Gemini. There's so many out there. If we pick systems where you have control or you can allow, you mentioned earlier about drafting emails and not sending it. Keep the human in the loop, as we all say, keep those guardrails in the security up so you know what is being sent or purchased or done on your behalf, really does help with the comfort level. And then you can start doing a little bit more and then a little bit more.
Yeah, it's not going away. I think that's a great analogy is, for comfort level wise, start on some of your personal things, your workout routine, your dinner routine, things with your family, and say, wow, I can't believe how we were able to utilize these tools, these agents to save time. And now it's like, okay, in the business world, now it's like, okay, kind of ease into it or reach out to someone like Laura or myself, and we can supercharge these things for you. So you're like, okay, we just saved a bunch of time, and in a lot of cases, trimmed a lot of fat off of money going out.
Absolutely. And even thinking about the videos, like you were saying about the videos consumed or the podcast, what you're listening to, where you go out and research, whether it be if you wanted, your viewers are wanting to learn more about AI, of course, you can make sure that you get delivered to you what is the summary of these videos so they can watch. Your viewers can watch them all the way through. But that again just increases the comfort level and streamlines the learning of AI because you work really hard to bring the curated version of AI that you know will help the audience that's listening.
That's right. Well, I'll kind of wrap up with this, but I know one AI tool that I use is similar to having an agent, but it's called Recall AI. So it can be used for different things besides videos. You can have it pull in articles and different things too. But let's just say there's somebody on YouTube that you really like, but they're always putting out so much good content. Like, how would I even have enough hours in the day to be able to watch all this content or learn all these cool things? You can actually have it pull in all of their videos, and then as new ones come in, they come in. You can then talk to your AI assistant in there and talk to this library of videos. So you can ask it questions. You can say, hey, what was really the best thing about the episode from yesterday? I know it was an hour long and I didn't have an hour, but kind of tell me some of these best things. And so you're able to literally talk to your library. It's insane.
That is fantastic. What a great tool. I'm glad that you brought that up.
Absolutely. Well, like always, we try to bring practical information to the repair space and try to help shop owners realize that, as things evolve, some of you are taking baby steps, some of you are jumping in deep. If you need help, let us know. Be sure and like and subscribe. Tell other people about us, and we'll do everything we can to help you. And again, this is Brad signing off from America's Best Shops.